Hey guys, I wanted to come on and do a quick book review. I just finished reading Naked in Death by J.D. Robb. Now, I will say, so this is the first book in the series, and I think there's like 63, 64, 66, somewhere in the 60s, like low to mid 60s books in this series. I think this one was first published in 1995, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but it's a series that follows Lieutenant Eve Dallas. It's set in the future, and she is a lieutenant in homicide with the NYPD. But it's called something different now. It's like the New York Security and Police or something like that. Um, but it's set in the future where, like, you have flying cars and all this kind of stuff. So a little bit of sci-fi piece in there. There's a little bit of romance because she does have a main love interest, but it is more about the cases that she's working, right? So I mean, at their core, they're kind of these crime and mystery stories with a little bit of romance, a little just a little bit of spice. Um, Not a whole lot, but great character development. I have read a lot of this series when I was younger, um, and am just now getting back into them. And so, because it's been so long since I've read them, I wanted to start over and read them from the beginning. Um, I also used to own quite a few of these. I think I've said it in a previous video. When I moved from Georgia to Colorado for grad school, I was very poor. I was very, very broke. And I really couldn't afford to move. And so I couldn't pay movers to move a bunch of stuff. And so if it didn't fit in my little Honda Accord that I had at the time, it didn't go with me. And so that didn't leave a whole lot of room for books. And so I ended up having to get rid of quite a few, or most of my books. Um, and I had about 5 or 6 bookcases full of books. So I had quite a few, and the In Death series was one of them. So I am slowly starting to buy this series kind of one or two every month when I get paid, to build this series back up because I really did used to enjoy it. And now that I've reread it, right, it's been, God, y'all, it's probably been 20 years since I've read these books. Um, Maybe not quite that long, maybe about 15 years. But still, it's been a hot minute, and I loved it just as much as I did back then. So for me, this book gets a 4 star. Because I definitely I am rereading it, and I've reread this a couple times already. Uh, but yeah, so anyway, let me tell you about the story. So in this one, this is where we're first introduced to Lieutenant Eve Dallas. And she is, like I said, she's a lieutenant in the homicide division of what used to be the NYPD, is now something else. Um, and this is a case where the granddaughter of a senator is murdered. And she was what they call a licensed companion. And so, because in this future society, prostitution is legal. And so, but you have to go to get health checks and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of upkeep that you have to do, and you have to have a license and blah blah blah. So it's it's interesting because the murder weapon is a gun, which is to them an antique weapon, right? Because everybody uses like these laser stunner things now. And so just the brutality of that kind of weapon. Um, but anyway, so it's shocking to them, but of course with us, right, especially living in America, guns are not shocking. But anyway, so as part of this, she meets this billionaire named Rorik, and yeah, so that's the love interest, and it kind of goes from there. Um, If you have read any Nora Roberts, this is Nora Roberts. She just writes these under the pen name JD Robb. Um, and like I said, they focus mostly on the story as opposed to, right, they're not romance novels. They're crime thriller mysteries, whatever you want to call it, with some romance in it. And like I said, a little bit of spice. It's like minimal spice. But enough that you get the picture, right? It's not closed door. So anyway, if you have not read this series, and you like murder mystery kind of stuff, I would recommend this. I genuinely like it. It I believe not I believe. I mean, it is written in third person, so if that's a little weird for you, you may struggle with this. I'm one of those people, I notice it, but it doesn't bother me. So if it bothers you, then probably this is not the series for you. But yeah, if you've read any of these books, because I don't see a lot, she's still releasing these. I think the newest one is coming out sometime this year. Um, but if you've read any of these, let me know what you think about them down in the comments. Because I don't see a lot of people on social media talking about these books. So I think I've seen some on one or two of y'all's bookcases, but I really don't hear anybody talking about them. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments.